Good afternoon, students. My name is Ankit Kumar Tiwari. I'm a faculty in Computer Engineering Department. First of all, I welcome you to Don Bosco College of Engineering. Today's session is basically about the career opportunities after graduation. So this is a small overview of the various streams which are available after your 12th class. So as you can see, you have chosen engineering, and in engineering, you have chosen a specific branch which is computer science and engineering, right? So these are the various paths which are available through which a person can build his career over a duration of 10, 20, 30 years. So since you have chosen engineering, so we'll restrict ourselves to computer science and engineering, and then we will discuss more prospects about uh, the engineering field after graduation. What are the various avenues which you can explore after the graduation? Whether you want to stay within the engineering computer science field, or if you want to shift to some other field, those scenarios also we will discuss, and the job scenarios. Okay, so that is the agenda for our today's discussion. So let's start with career opportunities after engineering. Okay, so the first thing which we'll keep in mind is career opportunities after computer engineering, because since you are computer graduates, so we'll discuss on those lines. So first and foremost, since you are in the first year students have all the subjects which are common across all the streams. If you are a student of computer science, if you're a student of mechanical, if you're a student of electronics, or if you're a student of civil, okay, the subjects will remain the same for the first year, and from the second year onwards, then the subjects will diversify. Okay, so you'll be studying subjects of specialization in your respective streams. For example, a computer science student will study subjects of computer science, an electronic student will study subjects of electronics, and so on from the second year. Okay, however, there are some subjects which are interdisciplinary, okay, which have interlinkages across the department, so you will be studying about those subjects as well. Okay, so the first thing which I want to address is the syllabus for the subjects will remain the same for the first year, and then from the second year the course will diversify. Okay, so let's try to understand the career opportunities after engineering. Okay, so first thing which you have to keep in mind is the time frame. When you are in third year, when you are in the end of third year, or at the beginning of the third year, you have to start thinking about these pertinent questions, whether you want to stay within the computer domain or you want to go outside the computer domain, whether you want to go into the industry, whether you want to go to higher studies, and so on. Okay, so the time frame typically should be around 2 years. When you are in the end of your third year, you should start thinking about these questions. Okay, so for within 2 years you got to decide. Okay, now first of all, let's try to understand what are the opportunities within the engineering domain. Okay, so here I'm talking about opportunities within computer engineering domain. Okay, so if you are in the sixth semester, when you reach the sixth semester, then after the end of the sixth semester, the companies will start coming for placements. Then depending upon your eligibility criteria, the companies will select you. Okay, normally the eligibility criteria for placements is 60% throughout first to sixth semesters, and also in 10th and your 12th standard you need to have 60%. Okay, so you should have 60% throughout 10th standard till the sixth semester of your engineering course, then you are eligible for placement. However, the eligibility criteria varies from company to company. So there can be certain relaxations when the company arrives for placement. Then they will be telling you more about the eligibility criteria. Okay. So suppose if you sit for the placements and you get selected into a particular company. Okay. So you will be going into industry. Okay. Now with respect to industry, you have to keep in mind that skill enhancement is of the utmost importance. The technology keeps on changing in every 2 to 3 years. So you need to constantly upgrade your skills. You have to constantly diversify your skill set. Okay. So as of now, the technologies in demand are AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, Internet of Things, big data analytics, data science, Python, etc. Okay. There's a very famous statement which says that data is the new oil. Okay. So if you are able to find out patterns within the data, that would be nothing but that would come under the stream of big data analysis, data science, machine learning, and so on. Okay. Then there are conventional technologies which you can learn. For example, you can study about Android development. You can study more about web design. You can study about graphic design. Okay, UI UX developers. You can study about J2EE enterprise editions. So these are conventional technologies which will definitely help, which will be definitely helpful for you in addition to the technologies in demand. Okay, so if I want to summarize industry, if you're going into the, if you're going for placements, or if you go into industry, skill set is very important. You need to constantly upgrade your skills, constantly update your skills. Okay, so this is with respect to industry. So a student who has decided to go into industry should keep these things in mind. Okay, that is point number one. Point number two is, after graduation, let's assume that you want to go for higher studies. Okay, you want to pursue your masters. So again, then the question arises whether you want to pursue masters in India or you want to pursue masters from abroad. If you want to pursue masters from India, you need to answer something called as a GATE exam. GATE exam stands for Graduate Aptitude Test in Engineering. This is a standardized exam which is conducted by IITs every year. So you are eligible to answer this exam when you are in 7th semester. When you are in 7th semester. So at the end of 6th semester, the forms will be released and then you can answer this examination. Okay. But just a short note, the exam can be quite difficult at times. You need to have very strong concepts of your specialized streams. So typically the preparation for GATE exam begins from your second year onwards. Okay, so you need to answer GATE exam. After answering the GATE exam, if you qualify the exam with a valid GATE score, then you are eligible for admissions into premium institutes like IITs, NITs, and BITS. Okay, so this is the path which you can choose after you graduate. If you want to go for higher studies, you can pursue your masters from premium institutions like IITs and NITs. And after that, if you want to go into full-fledged teaching, you can pursue your PhD as well. Okay, PhD typically varies from 3 to 5 years. If you are doing your PhD full time, then you can do PhD within 3 years. Okay, it can be extended up to 5 years. So if you're doing full-time PhD, then normally it extends from 3 to 5 years. If you're doing part-time PhD after pursuing your masters, then part-time PhD would be typically from 4 years to 6 years. So suppose if you want to pursue higher studies from abroad, then you can either go for MS or you can go for masters. The MS stands for Masters in Science. Then you can go for Masters in Engineering. Okay. But again, the question is, again, there are two questions: whether you want to gain a prior experience in industry and then get back and do MS, or soon after graduation you want to pursue MS. Okay. So the answer, it rests upon the individual or the candidate. So if you want, normally what you should do is you should directly go for higher studies as soon as your graduation is completed, because you are in continuation with your normal studies, and the subjects which you are going to read are just an extension of your graduation subjects. Okay, so typically the students opt for higher studies soon after graduation, but you can always uh, gain certain years of experience in industry and come back and you can do MS. Okay, so that is the question over here. If you are going abroad and if you want to pursue MS, then you need, whether you want to have a prior experience or 2 3 4 years, or you need to, if you want to directly go for MS. Okay, so suppose if you want to go for MS, then there are very good colleges in US, Germany, UK, New Zealand, Europe, etc. Okay, so typically the colleges in US can be quite expensive at times, so you need to do a lot of research before arriving to a final college where you want to pursue MS. The higher studies in Germany can be quite cheap at times, because you need to only pay for the accommodation, and if you have very good credentials in your graduation, then your tuition fee can be almost nil. Okay, if you're pursuing your higher studies from a technical university. Okay, so that is why most of the people, they prefer Germany, because the tuition fee is almost nil. Okay, so a person who wants to pursue higher studies, he need to keep in mind whether he wants to pursue higher studies within India. Then he can answer GATE examination. Uh, if he wants to pursue higher studies, then either you can gain an experience of certain years, you can work in industry and then come back and pursue MS, or else you can directly uh, soon after graduation you can pursue MS from these colleges, from these countries: US, Germany, UK, New Zealand. There is Poland as well. Okay, so these are very good countries for higher studies. Right. So these are the opportunities within computer engineering domain. Okay, soon after graduation you can go to industry, or after graduation you can go for higher studies. Okay. Now, there can be scenarios wherein students after 4 years of engineering realize that the engineering is not their domain. Okay, there are many people who change their uh, careers from computer to some other field. Okay, or from engineering to other field. So, which is quite possible. Okay, so for such students, if you want, we have opportunities outside engineering domain. The opportunities are limitless. So the most preferred option for such students is an MBA. Okay, uh, so students who are interested into business, students who are interested in financial modeling, they can pursue MBA. Now again, the question arises is, if you, whether you want to pursue MBA within India or want to pursue MBA from abroad. Okay, so let's discuss this first. Whether you want to pursue MBA within India. Okay, so if you want to pursue MBA within India, you need to answer a standard exam. There are various standard exams, but the premium exam is a CAT examination, Common Admission Test examination. It is held every year in the month of November. And if you answer this exam and if you get a very good percentile, then you can get into premier uh, management colleges like IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta. Okay, then there's GIM as well, GIM as well in Goa, Goa Institute of Management. Then there are some more private colleges which are of good reputation, like SP Jain College of Management. Then there is Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. Then there is XLRI uh, in Jamshedpur. So these are very good colleges. Then there is IIFT also in New Delhi. So these are very good colleges. So you need to prepare for CAT examination if you are interested in MBA. Okay. Apart from CAT examination, there are various examinations which are held every year. There is ZAT, there is NMAT, there is CMAT, there is a SNAP examination, there is XLAT examination, and so on. Okay. So when you answer CAT examination, for example, if you're answering CAT examination, you need to have a valid CAT score. Okay, valid CAT score keeps on changing every year, but typically valid CAT score would be around more than 90% if you want to get into IAMs. Okay, 90 to 95%. So this is with respect to MBAs. And many of the students, they opt for MBA. They go into industry, they work for a certain number of years, and then they pursue their MBA. So which is also in a particular industry for say 4 to 5 years, and after that you can pursue MBA. Either you could do it full time or part time. That is that depends upon the individual. If you're doing it full time, then it would be of 2 years. If you're doing it part time, then it would be an executive MBA, which is around 1.5 years. Right. So this was with respect to MBA. Students who wish to pursue MBA after their graduation. Okay, wish to pursue MBA after graduation. So typically the student can answer MBA in the 7th semester. So in the 7th semester, you can answer GATE examination, you can answer MBA exam as well. Okay, so that is why I said the time frame is around 2 years. You need to start thinking when you are in the 5th semester or 6th semester about these things. Okay, right. So this is with respect to MBA within our country. Suppose if you want to pursue MBA abroad, then you need to answer GMAT score. You need to answer GMAT. Okay, a GMAT is a standardized examination which is held uh, thrice a year, if I'm not wrong. Altogether, you can answer GMAT 6 times in your lifetime. Okay, 6 times in your lifetime. So typically what happens is the standard of GMAT exam is little bit less as compared to your MBA exam. Okay, standard MBA exam, which is CAT. Okay, so GMAT is slightly easier than CAT. So many students, they prefer GMAT examination. They answer GMAT, they get a good score. Normally the score is more than 600. If you have a very good score, good score is considered as a score which is more than 600. If you get more than 600, then you're eligible for MBAs abroad in very good colleges. Okay, there's a London School of Economics, then there is a Stockholm Business School, then there's a Wharton School of Business, there's a Harvard School, and so on. Okay, so these are some countries which have very good premium MBA colleges. In US, you have Wharton School of Business. UK has Harvard School. Then in Canada also there are very good MBA schools. Sweden has Stockholm School of Business, etc. So you can answer GMAT exam. Uh, the Apart from GMAT exam, you can also answer TOEFL and IELTS, which is basically an English speaking comprehensive test. Okay, so if you're going abroad and if you want to pursue your MBA, if you want to pursue your masters abroad, then you need to have a good score in IELTS and TOEFL as well. Okay, so TOEFL and IELTS are basically your English speaking comprehensive tests. Okay, apart from GMAT, there is one more exam which is called as GRE. I have not mentioned over here. You can answer GRE as well, which is also an exam, entrance exam for higher studies abroad. Okay, so this is with respect to MBA. Students who are interested in pursuing MBA after their graduation. Okay, so I have discussed in brief about uh, what are the contents of MBA, what are the examinations you need to answer. Okay, in brief. Okay, next is about government exams. What are the various opportunities for computer students in government exams? Okay, uh, if you want pure government exam, and if you are from computer domain, the opportunities are a bit less, but nevertheless the opportunities are increasingly becoming more uh, after the pandemic. Okay, after the pandemic. So the thing is, if you want a stable job, if you want good source of income, if you want a good work-life balance, then you can think of answering government exams as well. You get good remuneration, good working life. So for those students who are willing to answer government exams, this is about government exams. So we have government exams with respect to defense. We have government exams with respect to banking sectors, and then we have PSUs also. So I'll discuss each of one in detail. So suppose if you are interested, if you are a defense aspirant and you want to get into defense, then there are various entries through which you can get into defense. This is called as an AFCAT, Air Force Common Admission Test, which is an Air Force exam. You get into Air Force. Typically, AFCAT can be answered twice in a year, and you are eligible to answer AFCAT when you are in the 7th semester. Okay, then you can answer CDS examination as well. CDS is open to all Air Force, Navy, and Army wings of the defense. You're eligible to answer CDS once you're in the 7th semester. And typically the examination is quite simple, and the entire process of CDS plus SSB plus interview plus medical, it takes almost a year. Okay, same case for AFCAT also, the entire process takes about an year. Then there are various entries into Army. You can answer TGC entry. TGC entry is specifically for Army. Uh, Typically, the form is released when you are in the 7th semester. So you need to have a very good percentage from 1st to 6th semester. And if you are interested in Army, then you can apply through TGC entry as well. Then there's a separate Navy and good prospect for students who want to make their careers and serve the country. Okay, so defense is a very good option. Then we discuss something about banking sector. Students who are interested to work in banking sector, so and that too in government banks, then they have different kind of examinations. You have SBI PO, which is State Bank of India Probationary Officers exam. You join the SBI bank as a probationary officer. Then we have IBPS PO, which stands for Institute of Banking Personnel Selection. So this is basically an examination which is conducted, and there are many banks which participate in this. So you can get uh, recruitment into Canara Bank, or you can go into Union Bank, Punjab National Bank, etc. Okay, so this is your standardized exam which is held twice a year, IBPSP. Okay, and then there's a separate exam for RBI, Reserve Bank of India. There's a separate bank exam for LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, etc. Okay, so students who want to prepare, who wants to join banking sector and who wishes to serve in banks, they can answer these examinations. Okay, then we have public sector enterprises. Okay, so let me discuss something about PSUs. Public sector enterprises are the subsidiary wings of the government. So we have different type of PSUs. So the thing which you have to keep in mind is PSUs are engineering specific domains. Okay, for example, uh, ISRO, for example, let's say Airport Authority of India. Okay, so AAI conducts an exam which is exclusive for your electronics and computer graduates. Then we have examinations for ISRO. ISRO conducts its exam for electronics and computer graduates. They can be students from IT as well. Okay, so PSUs are engineering specific. Students from specific domain will be uh, answering these examinations. Okay, a mechanical candidate will be answering a mechanical specific PSU. Okay, so to get into a PSU, you need to again answer GATE examination. You need to answer a GATE examination. You need to get very good score in GATE exam, and after getting a good score, then you are eligible to appear in the interview. Okay, so that's what I've mentioned over here. Answer the GATE examination, get a valid good score, and then you are eligible to appear in the interview. Okay, so the competition can be quite tough, it can be fierce at times. So you need to be very consistent with your studies. Okay, so for computer oriented students, Airport Authority of India is a very good option. You get to work on the airports as an air traffic controller. Then you get to uh, work in something called as DFCCIL, which stands for Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited. Okay, Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited. So basically, you will be working in the dedicated freight corridors of Indian Railways, and then you will be mostly working in the communication department. Okay, so DFCCIL is open for all the graduates from all the streams. Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited is mostly meant for mechanical and civil guys. Then CRIS is a subsidiary wing of Indian Railways, which is mostly concerned with ticket booking on IRCTC. Okay, so it requires computer graduates, it requires IT graduates, it requires electronic graduates. Okay, so you can answer these examinations. So as I said, you need to answer GATE exam and get a very good score. With respect to ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, you need to answer a separate exam. ISRO conducts its own exam. The level of this exam is quite less as compared to GATE. Okay, so if you're preparing for GATE, then if you're preparing for GATE sincerely and thoroughly, then ISRO is very simple. Okay. Then DRDO also conducts its own exam, although the number of vacancies for computer students can be quite less at times. So the students who wish to join PSU, they need to answer GATE examination, and then they can appear for various public sector enterprises. Okay. Then we have some more government exams with respect to students from Goa. So we have students from Goa who can answer Goa Public Service Commission. So you can answer an exam for junior officer. It is equivalent to your IAS. You become an IAS within a span of 10 years. So it's a quite a good profile job. Then also we have assistant professors in various engineering colleges, so which are recruited by GPSC, Goa Public Service Commission. So GPSC uh, regularly conducts its examination. Have to go through the website and check its notification once you graduate. Then there are some more national exams, national government exams, which are SSC, it stands for Short Service Commission, Combined Graduate Level Examination. Then there's MTS, CHSL, etc. Okay, so mostly what happens with government exams is the duration of government exams can vary from around 6 months to an year. Okay, so you need to be patient with the studies, you need to be patient with the result, and your effort should be consistent. Okay, so this was with respect to government exams. Then there are some categories of students who tend to take a gap year after graduation, and the gap year normally it can range from 1 year to 2 years. So the gap year is mostly for skill enhancement, whether they want to enhance the skill and get back to industries. Okay, get back to industries, or whether they want to take a gap to prepare for GATE examination, or else they have taken a gap to prepare for UPSC examination. As you know, UPSC is a premier institute in India which conducts examination for IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS, etc. Okay, so many students they take a gap of around year or two, and then they prepare for uh, examinations like GATE or UPSC, or they uh, work on the skill enhancement side. Okay, right. So then there is one more category of students who go for entrepreneurship. So soon after graduation, some students they want to do their own startup. So you can start your own startup, and then for that you need to have a proper seed funding. Okay, you need to have some kind of funding from external agencies. The idea should be unique and it should be scalable. Okay, so the question which lies on the person is whether he wants to go for entrepreneurship soon after graduation, or he wants to gain certain years of experience in the industry or in the business and then start his own startup. Okay, so these kind of questions will lie in front of you, so you need to address these questions. So entrepreneurship is also a very lucrative option which is becoming increasingly popular these days. Okay, so however, in my opinion, it would be always better to gain certain years of experience. Then you can always come back to entrepreneurship. Then we have internships. Okay, we have internships. So during your course of graduation, if you have internships from various companies, or if you have internship, uh, if you have done internship courses from a good organization, it adds up to your resume. So I would recommend you to do internship. You can do internship from Internshala. It's a very good website to perform to undergo internships. Or else what you can do is you can write cold emails. Now this is a very new concept of writing a cold email. Basically, the concept of cold email is you directly contact a manager of a company. Let's say the company is ABC. You contact a manager and then you directly write a mail to him and you show your skill set to him. If he is interested, then he'll get back to you. He'll contact you. Okay, so you need to display your skill set, and to display your skill set, what you need to do is you need to prepare a proper you need to have a proper check of your portfolio. Okay, so you can create your own portfolio on LinkedIn. Okay, it will demonstrate your skills. uh, so that would be a very good option. Okay, so start exploring internships as well. So internships, normally the internships are provided by the colleges when you are in after the semester examinations. Internships can typically vary from 15 days to a month. So you need to do internships. Okay, you should emphasize on internships. An internship can be of anything. It can be on graphic design, it can be on architectural design. Okay, it can be on programming, anything. Okay, in addition to that, when you are studying in your college, you need to diversify your skill set. You need to do a lot of courses. The courses can be done from NPTEL website. There we have a dedicated NPTEL coordinator who will be guiding you with respect to NPTEL examinations. Then you can do courses like Python. You can do courses on big data from Coursera.com. You can do courses from Udemy.com. So there's no limit to information now because of the advent of internet. So emphasize upon your skill set while you're in college. Do a lot of internships. Uh, Increase your skill set. Do a lot of courses on Udemy, Coursera, NPTEL, etc. Okay, so some more important points which I would like to discuss with all of you is what are the common attributes amongst all the domains we have discussed. Okay, we have seen domains within the engineering domain. We have seen the opportunities lying outside the engineering domain. Okay, so there are certain set of attributes which are common to uh, these profiles. The first attribute which is very important is you have to work hard, and at sometimes you need to work smart as well. Okay, then your attitude towards failure, maybe today or might maybe tomorrow you will face failure, so your attitude towards failure should be very very good. You should be able to bounce back from the failures. The competition with respect to the jobs can be quite fierce at times. Okay, it can be tough, it can be ridiculous at times. Okay, so you need to face the failure as well. And in order to face the failure, you need to have a proper defense mechanism to counter the setbacks or failures. Okay. So this is in brief an overview of the opportunities. Now what I would request all the students is to do a research from their end as well. Okay, so you got to do a lot of research. Okay, so when you perform research, you actually get to know what are the obstacles lying in front of you. Okay, so do a lot of research and find out the information at your end as well. So since you are in the first year of your college, you can relax a bit. You can study, you can learn, you can enjoy. But start thinking about these things when you are in the third year, uh, when you're in the fifth semester or in the sixth semester. Okay. Be impatient with your actions. Okay. You need to be very swift with your actions, but be patient with your results. Okay. Good things will take. Uh, it will take some time, so you need to be patient with the results. So these are some common attributes which you should keep in mind while focusing upon the opportunities when you're exploring the careers after engineering. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. My details are mentioned on the website, so you can reach out to me in the department as well. My name is Ankit Kumar Tiwari. I'm a faculty in Department of Computer Engineering. My details are available on the computer website, so you can go through it and you can let me know if you have any questions. So I hope you had a good time and you got to learn new things from this small session. I hope you have a very good time in the college. Stay safe, enjoy your time in the college, learn a lot, and we'll always be there for you. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Stay safe and have a good day. Thank you.